Welcome to Jets Overtime, presented by Nissan. Eric Allen and Anthony Beck inside the BetMGM studios. Well, the New York Jets certainly flipped the script today, pulling out a dramatic, thrilling 27-24 victory over the Tennessee Titans in overtime. It is the Jets' first victory in 2021. And by the way they played today, it's not going to be the last.
Yeah, you know, it was exciting to see the defense come together, the offense come together. It's nice when all the components of the team play well or up to the standard that Coach Sal has been talking about. That's what it's going to take for this football team to win games, and it showed it in this game. I think the defensive has consistently been really good this season. They've actually improved every game that I've watched, which is great to see. And the fact that they were missing so many players, have young guys in the back end, and this defensive line has really stepped up to the challenge, in particular today. Offensively, look, everybody was waiting for Zach Wilson to step up and just, you know, throw everything from the past away and really ignite himself and really interject himself into the offensive game plan. I thought LaFleur did a nice job of getting him in the flow, at least throughout the entire football game, and you saw the confidence come out to him, in particular in the overtime period in this game.
Credit to the defense keeping the Jets in this game early, but as we watch Zach Wilson here, he really got things started late in that third quarter. It was 9-7, and he completed a long ball to Keelan Cole. Wow, what great moxie in the pocket. And here the Jets answer a Titans touchdown with a rollout. But this is the play I was talking about here, Anthony. That's got the Jets rolling. And that's what and here is the touchdown pass to Corey Davis. Just tremendous day for Zach Wilson.
Yeah, and he drops this one right in the bucket. I mean, listen, there's a lot to look at on that film that really sticks out. Number one, the touchdown to Crowder. Did anybody see the arm angle there? I mean, that wasn't over the top. That was over to the side. There were some defenders in the way. That drop corner route into Keelan Cole on the angle. The corner route was really nice as well. Really just an exceptional effort. He got better as the game went on. When the pressure was on him, he really stepped up and played well.
Getting Jamison Crowder back in the lineup today was huge for the New York Jets. He ended up with 7 receptions, and he remains one of the top slot targets in the National Football League. We're now joined by Jets wide receiver Jamison Crowder. Jamison, how good does it feel to get that first victory of the season?
It feels great, man. You know, we put in a lot of work this week, man, and, you know, we thought we had a good opportunity to come out here and get one, and we was able to pull through.
What did you think of the performance from your rookie quarterback, Zach Wilson? He was electrifying in the second half and overtime.
Yeah, for sure. I thought he played phenomenal, man, in the second half, man. And, you know, the receivers, everybody made big plays today, and that's what we got to do going forward, man. This, you know, in the league, man, this is how the games are going to be. You know, we got to give ourselves a chance in the fourth quarter to win, and we did that today. And everybody, we got to just, you know, keep it going.
7 receptions for you, 61 yards, and the 1 touchdown. Can you take me through that sequence before your touchdown where Wilson bobbled the snap, and then he finds you, and then 2 plays later, sprint right to you in the end zone?
Yeah, man. I mean, the first play, man, honestly, I didn't know what happened, but, in the backfield, I just ran my route, and I saw the ball, you know, coming my way. I just want to make sure, you know, I caught it. And, you know, on the touchdown pass, man, had a sprint straight to the pylon, and I couldn't even see the quarterback, honestly. All I saw was the ball coming, a little bit behind me, and I just made the play, man, so I'm thankful for that.
Great complimentary win. What can you say about the play, your defense? They were dominant. 7 sacks of Ryan Tannehill today.
Yeah, man, they played great, you know, and that's what we need. You know, we gotta put pressure on the quarterback, got to force some turnovers, and, you know, from the offensive side of football, man, we got to, you know, continue to get better and come out here and be able to put up points.
Jamison, go celebrate this one with your teammates. Thanks.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're watching Jets Overtime, presented by Nissan. Eric Allen and Anthony Beck inside the studio. We just heard from veteran receiver Jamison Crowder. You know that was an electric locker room after the game. Robert Saleh was asked about it. Anthony said it was awesome in there.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is great for the team. You know, they've been to 3 tough games, 3 really good teams that have really good defenses, and nothing offensively really picked up. And it gets frustrating. It's frustrating for the fan base, the coaches, the organization. Everybody wants something to happen now, right? It's a young team, young quarterback. They're learning, they're growing. Offensive line, trying to gel. Another game together, playing out there. 1 sack in the game today, which is an exceptional effort by them. I thought they did a nice job sporadically throughout in the run run game when they got their opportunities. And then from a pass protection standpoint, give the quarterback a chance to get the ball out of his hands. I thought you saw that today, in particular the second half. And that's what really it comes together with. Don't turn the ball over. Have a great defensive effort. And guess what? You're in the game. You have a chance in the fourth overtime in this one.
Hey, Anthony, the Jets have been insisting they have plenty of weapons and they can get things going offensively. Let me read you these stats. Jamison Crowder, 7 catches, 61 yards with the 1 touchdown. Keelan Cole, 3 catches, 92 yards. And finally, Corey Davis. How good did it feel for Corey Davis today? 4 catches, 111 yards, and the 1 touchdown. And he had the slip on the Wilson interception early coming out of his break. And I'll tell you what, he regained his footing in a big way down the stretch.
I mean, 4 catches, 111 yards. You talked about Cole, 3 catches, 91 yards. Those are like big-time throws, big-time catches throughout the game, and those are the plays you're talking about. I go back to it, watching Wilson and BYU and some of the plays that he made on film and that tape as they scouted him, as I scouted him. A lot of it happens down the field. A lot of it was big play stuff, receivers making catches, and you get confidence when you know the quarterback's going to give you a shot down the field. In particular, that Corey Davis touchdown. That's just a receiver, being a ball player, making a catch, quarterback giving him an opportunity to make that play, and they came down with it.
It certainly wasn't perfect for Wilson, and he talked about, listen, there are plays out there that I left on the table. Like you think about that 3rd and 10 play where Corey Davis is open. You make that pass, you seal it. Or in overtime, he wasn't able to hit his tight end there, Ryan Griffin. The ball goes low. If those plays happen, the game is over. But with that being said, it's better to make those corrections off a win, right?
There's no doubt. From experience, there's no question that's better to actually go through that. But there are a lot of things that you can grow on. You talk about even that last time in overtime, going down, driving down, third and goal at the 1, and they do a little rollout, try to get the tight end blocking and releasing outside. Tight end's not available, there's a defender there to tackle you, just throw the ball out of bounds. Those are little things he'll learn and teach from. That's what he's talking about when he's saying, okay, I can get better, there's still a lot to work on, and there is. I think that's actually exciting because when you can win games and still have those things on the field where you can learn, there's a lot more growth that can come from him. And a kid that threw for just a click under 300 yards and 2 touchdown passes, that's a good day for him.
That's the thing. He protected the football. Calculated aggression. I like what I saw out of Wilson today because he took the check down when it was there. We saw that on multiple occasions, and then he made the big plays as well. Let's hear from one of today's stars, Zach Wilson.
Zach, that looked fun. Was it fun?
It was awesome. I mean, the ups and downs, I'm still beating myself up. Crazy win, but, I had chances there to end it sooner right there. And what an awesome game. I'm so pumped we got away from it, with a W. But we just got to keep learning, getting better. It's awesome to be able to learn from a win, though.
There were a couple things that struck me today. The pass protection seemed to be the best you've had this season. Was it that noticeable for you?
Yeah, I feel like it's a team effort as well. I try to do a good job of making sure I got the ball out of my hands. When we did get pressure, be able to, get out of my hands and throw it away as well. And then, of course, those guys up front did a great job today. And I would say, our defense getting sacks and us not having sacks was a big factor in the win today.
How about it seemed like more of the game plan today was your ability to improvise, getting out of the pocket. Some of it I think you did on your own and some of it was by design, but was that more of the game plan this week to let you kind of go out there and be you?
No, it wasn't, but that's part of my game plan every single week. When things break down and third downs are hard to come by and things aren't open, how can I get out of the pocket and extend plays? And, we were able to have a couple big ones down the field that were able to get us into some scoring situations.
Just generally speaking, what does this win mean for this group after what you've been through these last 3 weeks?
Yeah, it's huge. It's confidence, to let everybody know in this locker room that we're a good team and we can do really good things. And it's going to be a process. We just got to keep stacking the blocks and keep getting better, But you could definitely feel like the tension on the team kind of fell off right there and we were able to do something on offense.
Well, congratulations. Enjoy it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's the voice of the Jets, Bob Wischusen with Zach Wilson. Great job by not only Wilson today improvising, but how about Shoes out there? He's holding 2 things. He's got a mic. He's got his phone in there. He's recording both ways, taking it all in. But good job from those guys. Obviously a very excited Zach Wilson, as he has every right to be. You talked about the Jets' offensive line holding up in pass protection, and when Wilson was flushed out, him being special. On the other side of the ball, wow, the defense continues to thrive inside the red zone. 3 of 3, where the Titans could have had this game 21-0 in the first half, and they kept them in. And then 7 sacks of Ryan Tannehill. And how about the effort on third down, 5 and 19?
Yeah, listen, I think the biggest thing about this when I watched the defense is everybody knew that they were going to be kind of one-dimensional in this game, even the Titans, and they knew they were shorthanded at receiver, and they were going to have to make plays in the passing game. You talked about some of those third down opportunities. Well, the Jets made them pay up front. The offensive line for the Titans, they were atrocious in this game. It was because of the effort of this defensive line. Huff, Williams, Fatakazi, these guys. Fatakazi's a guy, I think he's an unsung hero right now. Every week I watch him, gets great penetration, taking on double teams, and guys are doing a good job. And then you talk about Franklin Myers really stepping up his game. But the efficiency for each one of those players, usually you get one guy, one big name player, he makes the plays, everybody kind of joins the party. I mean, how about the next level? You start there, but then you got 2 linebackers that are just lights out playing. I mean, Mosley, I think, had 14, 15 tackles. Yep. Quincy Wilson was unbelievable in this game. He made some hits on Derrick Henry that he's going to think about tomorrow in that ice bath when he gets back to Tennessee. So it's good to see that front level of this defense step up and play big. And I'll tell you, that shows up on film week in and week out.
C.J. Mosley, like Anthony just mentioned, double-digit tackles. So he's had double-digit tackles in each of the past 3 games. You know how many times he's done that in his career? Once. It just happened this 3-game stretch. He is playing fantastic football. For more on this Jets defense, let's go to Ethan Greenberg, who's standing by with Eric Coleman.
Thanks, EA. EC, we knew Derrick Henry was going to get the ball a ton today, especially without A.J. Brown and Julio Jones in the lineup. He had 157 rushing yards, but it almost felt like the Jets did a good job on the ground today, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I thought they did an excellent job. Listen, no one in the league has been able to stop Derrick Henry for the last two years plus. He's been a dominant force, and, listen, he still had a good game, but I thought the Jets did a great job of stopping him in the backfield and then doing a great job of being physical, making him earn every single yard.
Look, it's a great point because Derrick Henry's going to get his yards, going to get his touches, 33 attempts on the ground. How about the performances of C.J. Mosley and Quincy Williams, who felt like he really had a breakout performance today?
Oh, it was unbelievable. To see these guys fly around the field. Quincy Williams, I don't know how many tackles for loss he had, but every time I looked up, he was celebrating. Doing a good job of covering sideline to sideline. C.J. Mosley was being as physical as he could be, knocking running backs backwards, and just really doing a great job in coverage as well.
All right, well, let's focus on this Jets defensive line, really the star of the show today. 7 total sacks. Quinnen Williams had 2 of them. How big of an issue is this Jets defensive line moving forward for opponents?
Oh, man, they're a problem. This defensive line is a problem. They do a great job of getting in the backfield. 7 sacks today. They were creating pressure. That's coverage's best friend. That's the secondary guy's best friend. The defensive line getting pressure, stopping that running back in the backfield, not allowing him to get a full head of steam. That helps out the defense in so many ways. Great job at the D-line.
Look, I'm glad you mentioned big plays because it feels like if we were to nitpick here, Jets win. We're not nitpicking, but one thing, it did feel like the Jets let up some explosive plays here and there throughout the game.
Yeah, there's a couple third down and long situations where I thought, we got to get off the field right here, and they let up. There's a screen play at the beginning of the game. But other than that, listen, it was a great game. Great effort by the defense. They're a young team. I think they grew up a lot today. Special teams played well offensively. I thought Zach Wilson had a great game. Just an all-around great win for the team.
All right, look, the Jets now go across the pond to play the Falcons in England. But let's end with this. The third down numbers. Titans again, 26% on third down. What does it say about this Jets defense? And what does it say about this Jets defense moving forward that they've held opponents to low success rates on third down?
Well, I think that, it's great situational football. These guys are aware, they're eager, they're fighting like dogs to get off that field. And they understand how important it is to get off the field. Just great leadership on the back end. I think the linebackers are doing a great job of communicating, and it's really impressive to see them hold the Titans at 26% on third down.
Awesome. EA, back to you.
Thanks, fellas. You are watching Jets Overtime presented by Nissan. Eric Allen and Anthony Becht here inside the BetMGM studio. The Jets yielded 430 total yards in their win over the Titans, and Derrick Henry got his. He rushed for 157 yards and a touchdown. That is about as good as a defensive performance you're ever going to see for a unit that gave up 430 yards because, like you and Eric have stressed here, dominant performance by the Jets' defensive line. They're getting off the field on third down. They're thriving in the red zone. And how about a find here with Quincy Williams, Quinta's brother?
Wow. I mean, really just an exceptional effort. I mean, he was locking down the backs the entire game today. Whether it was screen passes, he was on the money, tracking, staying, understanding his job. Whether it was a third and short and he had to come up big. Now, I know Derrick Henry got a first down late in the game, but he was right there to smack him. I mean, knock him back, and just barely got over the line for the first down. He was just in tune. I think him and C.J. Mosley right now are meshing really well. They feed off each other. They're in the right spots. And right now they're unblockable. They think about it. I have double-digit tackles, two guys right there at the top of their game going into this football game. Now, there's a ton of snaps in this game. They did an excellent job on third down. They gave up a couple sporadic, big runs throughout the game, some passes here and there, that screen on third and long that Eric was talking about. But overall, when they needed something to happen, and it's, we talk about the 7 sacks and the 14 hits on the quarterback. Not all of them were just because the pass rush. Let's give some credit to the secondary. This is a young secondary that's growing and learning every day, and they're going to have some ups and downs. But I'll tell you, there was a lot of knockdown balls today. There's a lot of plays on the football. When they had a chance to be a pass defender, they turned their heads and made plays on the football. They didn't grab. They didn't try to pull. They didn't try to not looking back. The fundamentals are there for these guys to be successful. And again, that is just a tribute to Ulbrich and what he's been able to do for this defense, making those calls and trusting what these guys can do.
The Jets had 7 PDs in all. What do you think about the play of Bryce Hall in his second year there on the outside? 3 PDs today. I think he's really starting to come into his own.
Yeah, him, Carter.
Yep.
I mean, all of them. I mean, they're all getting an opportunity. They're all going to have to make plays. Now, these were some secondary receivers that Tennessee had out there, but they still had to go out. They made some plays, and you have to be on point. And I think it just, playing in the secondary, I was never played DB in my life, but just as a player, I just know that when you're out there and you make pass defenses and you knock down balls, it just grows in confidence. You have to have a little swagger when you play DB in the league. You can't just go around kind of worrying about things in the past and this and that. These are plays that are going to give them some momentum heading into the season, just allowing them to have the confidence to know that they can match up and play within the system and the defense, and that's only going to give more for the defensive coordinator to call blitzes and different things they want to do because he's going to have some trust in those guys.
Speaking of swagger, how much do you enjoy Wilson's moxie out there? This team got shut out in Denver last week. They had been outscored 46-3 in the first half, and then they got a touchdown in the first half, and he said the team got a jolt from the Michael Carter touchdown where he got pushed in by George Fant and Connor McGovern. But it was in the second half. I thought he really took the game over. You thought something big was about to happen with Zach Wilson.
Yeah, well, getting the Carter touchdown was a monkey off your back, right? No touchdowns in the first half. It was good to get that. But, I mean, some of these throws were really good. Even in the beginning of the game, there was a drop and some guys falling down. But, again, this play right here is exceptional. Just to have the ability to keep your poise and put a ball out there. Crowder makes a great guy. What an addition he was coming back into this game. Just ultra reliable, always in the right spot, gets it in the red zone. And then a couple of these balls down the field were just really huge plays. Cole had 2 of them. Here's the touchdown to Corey Davis where he just orchestrated this. Throw the ball, give your receiver a chance. That's great concentration there by Corey Davis. And then this throw here into the bucket to Cole. I mean, that's about as exceptional as it gets. I mean, those are big-time throws for a rookie quarterback. I promise if you stack up the film from some of the other younger quarterbacks across the league, you're not going to see those kind of throws right now. So, again, huge jump from games 1, 2, and 3, just from his performance. And again, fans look at him and think, "Oh wow, is he the right guy? Is he going to come?" Of course, he's going to come through. There's a reason why he was drafted so high. There's a reason why his talent was so good at BYU. And you start to see pieces now, and you sit back and you think, "Wow, this kid's got a shot to be really, really special." It's just about the continued growth week in and week out.
Anthony, how will that change the way defenses attack him now with his ability to get outside and be so accurate with that special arm?
Well, even though his numbers may not have been great the first couple games, it's still dangerous. You still, that's the lead of the defensive meeting is say, listen, here's a quarterback that obviously came through last week. He's going to grow off confidence, but when he gets out of the pocket, he's a problem. He's someone that, you're a linebacker or a DB. When you come off your guy, when you attack him at the line of scrimmage, then he can also run if you decide to fall back and stay in coverage. And it really puts a premium on your pass rush. If you looked at the Titans today, you couldn't just come right up the ball, right off the snap and just come at him and do whatever you want. You have to be strategic on the way you pass rush him now, because if you don't have contain and you allow him out of the pocket because you want to try to make a nice play from the outside edge, you're going to get hurt and you're going to hurt your defense. So those are the things that coordinators and secondary players and defenses across the league are going to have to deal with. That just off one game of a positive game like that will ultimately be a big factor on how they actually prepare for him week in and week out.
And what does it do for the confidence of the guys in the room? Because everybody's talked about, hey, listen, we're not worried about Zach. We have full confidence in him. But we saw a glimpse of it in the second half against Carolina, right? But today we really saw, the potential come to fruition out there on the football field.
Well, everything we've been hearing, right, from whether it was some players, everybody's frustrated, right? Linemen, they got to protect better. They want the quarterback to get the ball out of their hands. Zach wants to get the ball out of their hands. Hello, you saw Zach be very confident in his throws. He had a decisive plan on a lot of the snaps that he took. Ball was out of his hand, right? That's great. Linemen love it. Okay, play breaks down, things happen. Zach's got to make a play, get outside the pocket. He's got good intuition and timing. He's able to protect the offensive lineman for that length of time that things are happening. And he's able now, okay, once you get out of the pocket, that's on you now, Zach. And he made a lot of big plays outside the pocket, whether it be down the field, across the field, getting the first downs, or utilizing his legs. And then from a pass protection standpoint, clearly the kid, if he's in the pocket and he has time, can deliver the home run and deliver a good ball and a good catch. So those are the things you like to see. It's frustration when it doesn't happen. You keep hearing coaches and players, it didn't happen like that in practice. It works in practice. We see it in practice. Well, this is what you see. These are the positives that they're talking about week in and week out that nobody wants to hear about because they want to see results. But again, as this team is, they have to continue to grow, and this is what you start to see, hopefully here, the trend moving forward for the rest of the game.
Speaking of results, C.J. Mosley today, 13 tackles, 1 sack, 1 quarterback hit, 1 tackle for loss. He is the heartbeat of that defensive unit that is all over the place right now, and Ethan Greenberg talked to him after the game.
Here with linebacker C.J. Mosley. C.J., what does it mean to you to win this game after missing all of last season and having a troubling 2019?
Man, it's honestly this win's not about me. It took a full team effort. We finally saw some complimentary football with this team, so we put it on tape. So now we got to bring that every week. We've been preparing the same way the last 3 weeks, and on Sundays it hasn't went the way we wanted to. We start off a little slow, but that's how football goes. But man, just the resilience that this team has, the fight that we have, the love that we have for each other, the bond between the coaches and players and coaches, everybody at the Jets facility. So man, we earned this win. It was a tough one, but we earned it.
Talk to me about the defensive performance. Let's start against Derrick Henry. You knew that he was going to get the amount of touches he did. The stats say what they say. How would you evaluate the performance, and what was the mentality going into today's game, knowing that his number was going to be called so often?
Playing against a team that's going to run the ball, plus a player like Derrick Henry, you can't look at the stats and get discouraged. You just got to keep playing football. You got to keep running. You got to keep hitting. You got to play your technique. Some plays, he's a great player. They practice just like we do, and they got us in some of our defenses. They got us in some of the runs. But I think for the most part, we did a good job of trying to control the sticks on first and second down with the runs. We had a few screens that kind of leaked out in some coverages, but that's what we go to practice for. We're gonna go in tomorrow and try to fix those things because we got a long trip across the pond next week. But we're gonna enjoy this win. And one of the things that we say, after this game over, don't be surprised that we won. It's a culture that's been here, and as men that's came here, whether we've been free agents, drafted here or picked here, we can either live by that culture or we can change the culture. So hopefully with this win, guys can start to see what we're really about.
All right, TJ, let's wrap up with this. What are some things that, as a defense, you can take and move and bring with you moving forward, and what are some things that you think you can perform better on as a whole?
There's always lessons every game. We can start with situationals. You know, we could have ended the game in the fourth quarter in our 2 minute, so we got to make sure we get off the field when we need to. You know, penalties happen, so we can't put it on the refs, we can't put it on anybody, we got to put it on us. I mean, we knew what they were going to be doing, and we just got to make sure we execute. So I think situationally, we still got to improve and try to do better. Obviously, in the red zone, we still got to get some balls from the defense. We got to get some turnovers, but I mean, it was a hell of a game on all 3 phases. So we just got to put it to work for next week.
Appreciate it, TJ. Thank you.
Anthony, spoken like a true captain right there, said, "Don't be surprised that we won." That's the message to the players inside the locker room, because the Jets the last couple seasons have lost so many games. He wants to be part of a change of the culture here.
Yeah, well, you hear him after every game, even in the losses, talk about that. You know, the team is going to be good. We're going to have our opportunity to break out. You know, he sees it day to day in practice. I mean, clearly he's not going to lie about it, because this guy's a winner. He came from a winning organization, and he wants to come and win here and bring that culture here as well. Listen, the guy's a stud, number one. I mean, you know, listen, when we saw him, 2 years ago in that opening game against Buffalo, he was the best player on the field offensively or defensively. And you can clearly see now, after a year off, ups and downs that you can go through with the body, how it's changed. He kept himself in shape. He lost weight. He evaluated his situation and said, look, this is what I need to do to make sure that I play at a level that I need to play at. And that's what you're getting on the field right now. He's all over. His speed is tremendous. He doesn't look like he's lost a beat. He's got instinct. He's been very instinctive throughout the game so far this year. And he is the heartbeat of the defense. He is the leader. As much as you've seen all the defensive linemen and Quincy Williams, as well as they did, who was the leader in tackles today? The guy that was around the ball the most? C.J. Mosley. So it was good to see that today in this game.
I don't want to say anything negative here, but God, am I bad? Because I just want to imagine what this defense would look like with Carl Lawson. Because when Lawson gets back, and he's coming back, mark my words, after this Achilles injury in 2022, this defensive line, oh my God, they are going to be filthy. Today, they lived around the quarterback. Can you talk about the dynamic now of Quinnen Williams, Sheldon Rankins, Lorenzo Fatukasi pushing the middle? There's nowhere for the quarterback to step up, and now we're seeing John Franklin Myers, 3 sacks so far through 4 games. The aforementioned Quinnen Williams, he's got 3.5 sacks the last 2 weeks.
Even Huff.
Yeah,
I mean,
he had a second half today.
Here's a guy that's, you know, a little bit undersized, but when you talk about what he brings in the pass rush, he dips under a lot of those big tackles that just don't have the ability to flex and get hands on them. And you see him a lot of times get underneath guys and do well. You know, Franklin Myers does a lot of great things. He can beat you with speed. He can beat you with power. He can beat you with an assortment of moves. He's clearly, working on his game. I mean, here's a guy that's going to try. He's trying to feed his family every single snap that he's out there. And that's a great thing. Organizations love that when players go out and do that. But, you know, you talked about, Fatukasi is a guy to me that shows up, in particular early in games. He eats up space. He pushes the pocket. Other guys obviously get into the party on the sacks and things of that nature. But when a guy can push the pocket like him and Williams, they're all having an opportunity. Rankins, every one of those guys is playing at a great level. I mean, you could put them up arguably against any defensive line in football right now, and you could say that they're going to grade out as good or better than maybe the top 3 or 4 that you think that are out there. The Rams, some of those big teams, the Buccaneers. The Jets' defensive line is legit, and they were a huge problem today versus a team that a lot of people think, when fully there with their weapons, can be in the mix in the AFC.
It all works hand in hand, because if Franklin Myers and Huff are coming off the edge along with Shaq Lawson, then Tannehill or any opposing quarterback's got to step up. And who's he stepping up into? Quinnen Williams, Sheldon Rankins, Lorenzo Fatukasi. Likewise, if the Jets get to push up the middle and he starts going outside, there's JFM, there's Bryce Huff, there's Shaq Lawson and company. So very encouraging signs from the Jets defense, not only today, but throughout the first 4 games of this season. And we were waiting to see the offense get going. It happened today.
And you talked about in the pregame show about Tannehill and his rushing ability, right? I think he had 50-plus yards last week's game. when you press the pocket and also protect the edge, where is anywhere for him to go? There was nowhere for him to run. There weren't any seams. You have to be a strategic pass rusher. Just like teams have to be strategic versus Zach Wilson and what he can do, guess what? Tannehill can kill you with his legs, and he didn't today, and that's a huge shout-out to the plan of everybody being on the same page up front.
Yeah, and the Jets didn't crush it on the ground today, but they rushed it just enough to have a little bit of balance out there.
I saw
You saw the attempts.
I did, yeah. The attempts were up. The attempts were up later in the game. I would love to see more. I think, when you watch this football team, I do see the run game starting to come together a little bit. That outside zone, I see Carter really having a good sense now of finding those holes. The guys who are aggressive coming off the ball. You're going to have those games where it's going to be a little unbalanced. I would always like to see them be on the high side of rushes more than pass attempts. But again, this is the NFL. Teams can score quickly, and unfortunately, you can be down or up or whatever you have to do. If you got to protect the lead or have to get the lead, you're going to have to pass the ball a bit. But running effectively is going to be a big.
25 attempts, 66 yards. So they're going to have to get that average up. But Michael Carter got the Jets' first rush touchdown in the 2021 season, and we talked about it before, team effort. How about the spark by veteran Tevin Coleman in overtime?
Did he not have a carry till overtime? I mean, the guy jumps in, he's jumping over a pile for a big first down. He gets a nice big run to the right side. He's a veteran, right? So he doesn't need to be the guy in the beginning of the game, but when your number's called and you're a veteran player, you got to make some type of influence in the football game, and I thought he did. I mean, he really did stand out. Some really big runs that were important, crucial times in the game where he wasn't getting the touches, okay, where he wasn't warm as a running back, and he came in as if he was, had played the entire game. So that speaks volumes about his leadership qualities because he understands his role with this team. He's got some younger backs that the Jets are excited about, but when they needed something tough, hard yards, and they needed a big spurt, he came in and did a nice job.
Jets 1-3. The Atlanta Falcons 1-3. They will meet next week in Tottenham. Early thoughts on that matchup because I'm thinking about a little winning streak right now.
Well, here's the problem if you're the Falcons. You have a quarterback right now that cannot move.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Matt Ryan is going to turn on the film, and he's going to be nervous. I mean, he'll start patting the football. That's what he does. And he's going to look to get the ball out of his hands quickly. So those are things immediately that come to mind for me watching the Falcons. They couldn't handle the Eagles' pass rush and their down linemen. And I think right now when you look at what the Jets are doing up front, it's not looking pretty. So you're either going to see a lot of quick game, pass game from this team coming into this game next week, or you're going to see a lot of running the football. But Matt Ryan will not want to be in that pocket. And unfortunately for him, he's got nowhere to go. He's pretty much cemented in that circle, and that's not a good thing if you're a quarterback versus the Jets.
There's a schedule right now. We're looking at it. I'll tell you what, when you look at it, you say, hey, listen, the Jets, no reason they shouldn't be competitive in most of those games.
There's no doubt. I think you take one at a time.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you watch this film and say, okay, these are the good things we did. These are the things we know we can build off of, all right? There's a trust factor. There's a trust factor with linemen. There's a trust factor with the quarterbacks and the linemen and vice versa. The backs trust in the linemen where the holes are in the running scheme. And then receivers being in the right spot. Keelan Cole's a guy that I had been talking about. Where is he? Is he going to show up? He's a guy that, averaged 17-plus yards a catch, came in today's game and showed the reasons why. He can find the seams down the field, and he can make those big catches down there and those big plays, which are going to be huge. So, if you do look at the schedule, you never want to look ahead, but you're right. Every one of these games are going to be an opportunity for the Jets not only to get better as a team, but actually win. And I think that's the most important thing. If you can get better and get wins at the same token with this team and this young nucleus that's around it, with all the picks and everything they have moving forward into next year, those are huge positives that get this team going.
And lastly here, Robert Saleh is the perfect guy for this job, I think, because he's going to be steady. He was steady when everybody on the outside during that 0-3 start was panicking and saying, oh, the kid's losing it. What's happening at quarterback? You're going to lose another guy. And Robert said, hey, we're going to be fine. And when it clicks for him, it's going to be special. There's going to be a reason why he was the number 2 overall pick in the draft.
Yeah, I think, Saleh's been, you're right, even. And that's where you want to be as a head coach. You can't show too much emotion. You can't give too much praise. You can't knock guys down too much because there's 17 games in a season, man. You got to fight through every week. Nobody's going to win every game. Nobody's going to lose every game. Clearly, the Jets aren't now with that huge victory. So, I think his staff is good. I like the coaching staff that's been put together. They're really excited about what they can be as a nucleus, and I think that the bonus here, even though for me, I'm looking for good football.
Yep.
Okay, the scoreboard doesn't really necessarily tell the tale for me as I watch this football team, because I know it's the word process, but it is a process. But when you can put wins with that, okay, that's even better. So that's something to grab on. They got one today. It's huge. It's hard to win in the NFL. Don't look at names on the schedule and don't look at teams that are out there and say, oh, we should beat them, we can't beat them. That's not how the NFL works. If you come out, protect the football, be balanced, have some big plays, and play good defense, you have a chance to win every single week. I don't care if you're the Chiefs or the Jets. So that's something that the Jets can build off of. And we talked about it. There were mistakes in the game that were made that they can learn off, but they still were able to win the football game today.
And finally, the juice was back at MetLife Stadium today. That place was electric, and I think we're going to continue to see that because Zach Wilson and this defense are going to continue to get better throughout the season. For Anthony Beck, I'm Eric Allen. We're signing off after the Jets' first victory in 2021.